Mysteries of the Deep. Chris, Judy, and Finley were on their last mission for the year. The three of them had been working together for 2 years as the crew of a commercial submarine, exploring the vast depths of the ocean. They were looking forward to returning home after spending many months confined to the sub. As they cruised through the dark waters, Chris, the captain, received a distress call from the bottom of the ocean. They were under an obligation to investigate any distress calls, so they began to descend to the ocean floor. As they got closer to the source of the distress call, the crew noticed something unusual. The ocean floor was littered with debris, as if a huge explosion had occurred. But they saw no signs of a ship or any living beings around. The crew exchanged worried glances as they continued their descent. Finally, they reached the bottom and came to a stop. Chris gave the order for Finley and Judy to put on their diving gear and go out to explore the nearby caves from where the distress call was coming. The 2 crew members made their way to the caves while Chris stayed in the submarine, monitoring their progress. As Finley and Judy entered the first cave, they noticed that the walls were covered with some kind of metallic substance. "Chris, you have to see this," Finley spoke into their communication device. "What is it?" Chris asked, also intrigued. "It looks like some kind of spacecraft," Judy chimed in. Confused, Chris asked them to take some samples and bring them back to the sub for further analysis. Finley and Judy continued their exploration, entering deeper into the caves. But when they reached the end, they were taken aback by what they saw. The cave opened up into a huge air-filled cavern with long tunnels leading in different directions. They also noticed huge metallic spheres scattered around the cave, some as big as a human. As they approached one of the spheres, they both felt a strange energy emanating from it. It was as if the sphere was trying to communicate with them. Suddenly, the ship's computer deciphered the message, and to everyone's horror, it was not a distress call, but a warning. "Unidentified object detected. Warning. Do not approach. Danger. Danger," the computer repeated in a robotic voice. Before they could even process this information, Finley and Judy felt a strong telepathic hold on their minds. They tried to resist, but it was no use. The spheres were controlling them, manipulating their thoughts. Chris, who was monitoring their vitals from the submarine, noticed something was wrong when their heart rates and brain activity spiked. Panicking, he quickly made his way to the entrance of the cave, but he was too late. By the time he reached them, Finley and Judy were standing lifelessly in front of the sphere. Chris was horrified as he realized that the spheres were not only warning them, but they were also luring them to their death. He knew he had to escape back to the submarine or end up like his crew members. He turned around to run back, but then everything started to change. The walls of the cave began to melt, and the whole place was engulfed in a psychedelic and surreal nightmare. Every step he took felt like he was walking through quicksand. Chris's mind was playing tricks on him, and he could no longer differentiate between reality and the nightmare he was trapped in. He saw his dead crew members calling out to him, luring him deeper into the caves. But amidst all the chaos, Chris's will to survive prevailed. He ran as fast as he could, dodging the illusions that the spheres were projecting into his mind. He could feel the telepathic hold on his mind getting stronger and stronger, but he fought back with all his might. Finally, he saw the entrance to the cave and made a mad dash for it. He could see the submarine waiting for him, and he knew he was almost there. But just as he was about to reach the entrance, he felt something grab hold of his ankle, pulling him back into the nightmare. Desperate, Chris swung his hand and grabbed onto the rope that was still attached to his diving gear. He used all his strength to pull himself out of the cave and back into the safety of the submarine. Panting and shaking, Chris fell to the floor, grateful to be back in reality. He looked at his hand, which was still holding onto the rope, and saw that it was covered in a slimy alien substance. He knew that the spheres had some kind of control over him, but he had managed to break free. As Chris recounted the terrifying experience to the ship's computer, he realized that he was the only one who had made it back. Judy and Finley were lost to the nightmare of the spheres. With a heavy heart, Chris gave the order to leave the area and return home. He knew that this mission would forever haunt him, and he couldn't wait to put it behind him. As the submarine made its way back to the surface, Chris couldn't help but wonder about the mysterious spheres and the strange message they had received. He could only hope that he would never encounter anything like it again, but deep down, he knew that the ocean held many more secrets and dangers than he could ever imagine.